Hey, this is a review video of slopes and tables. This is called the Wyatt edition. Let's go ahead and begin right away. So we're talking about slopes here. So slopes of 2 points, of any given 2 points. Well, when we have 2 points, we know that we have an x and we have a y, and then we also have another x and another y. Now, because this right here is our first point, we're actually going to call that x sub 1 and y sub 1 because it's our first point. So we label those numbers as 1. Since this right here is our second point, we label those numbers as 2 because they are the second point. Now, just like how I showed you on how to find slope, we take the second y here and subtract it from the first y. So I'm going to rewrite the table over here. I'm going to write it in purple. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Y's always go first. Why? Exactly that. Remember, when you ask why, y goes first. And then we're going to take this second x and subtract it from the first x. That second x and subtract it from the first x. So I'm going to write down x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So that's the slope formula. And I know that you know it, but I just wanted to review it today because I know that you know how the slope formula is found. Let's go ahead and try this one. I want you to try this on your own. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own. Go ahead and pause this video, try this one on your own, and see how well you did. Okay, so hopefully you paused this video. Hopefully you did it. All right, no cheating, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take negative 6 and subtract 3. So I'm going to have negative 6 minus 3. Okay, and actually I'm going to do this in a different color. I'm going to do this in purple so you can see how I'm writing it out. And then I'm going to do red for here. 4 minus a negative 5. Use your calculator. Double check with your calculator so you don't get these incorrect. Negative 6 minus 3. Same side, add. Negative 6 plus a negative 3 is a negative 9. 4 minus a negative 5. Well, minus a negative turns it to plus. 4 plus 5 is 9. Negative 9 divided by 9 is a negative 1. Hopefully you got negative 1. If you wrote down negative 1 over 1, I would accept that. Alright, try your second one. Go ahead and pause this video, give it a try, and let's see how well you did. Alright, so I said 5 minus 0 divided by negative 3 minus 2. What we get from there is, well, 5 minus 0 is just going to be 5. Negative 3 minus 2 should be a negative 5. This also gives us a negative 1. And I'm not doing this on purpose. I totally came up with these numbers and I'm getting the same slope. I'm not doing that on purpose. Negative 1. Okay? Very cool. Let's try this one now. Try this one. Alright, hopefully you said negative 4 minus 6. And negative 8 minus a negative 8. So negative 4 minus 6, that's going to be a negative 10. Negative 8 minus a negative. Minus a negative makes plus. What is negative 8 plus 8? Well, if you owe me 8 and then you pay 8, that means you owe me 0. And what happens when 0 is under? When 0 is under, we call that undefined. Undefined. Actually, here, I'm going to write it down here. Undefined. Undefined. I allow my students just to write down und because it does represent undefined, but it's better to write out the full word so you can get full points. Undefined. Okay. Now let's talk about this one. We have negative 9 minus a negative 3. We have negative 4 minus a negative 7. Go ahead and try to solve this one. We have minus a negative, that's going to be plus. Negative 9 plus 3, that's going to be a negative 6. Negative 4 minus a negative 7, well, minus a negative 7 makes plus 7. Negative 4 plus 7 is 3. This can be reduced by dividing top and bottom by 3. We get negative 2 over 1, otherwise known as negative 2. Negative 2. Okay, so hopefully you got that one. This last one right here, go ahead and try this one. We have 6, negative 1, and 0, negative 1. Go ahead and try this one. Alright, you should have said negative 1 minus a negative 1, and 0 minus 6. Well, negative 1 minus a negative, well, minus a negative makes plus. Negative 1 plus 1, that's 0. And then we have 0 minus 6, that's a negative 6. 0 divided by negative 6, well, what is that? Think about it. If we have negative 6 of whatever, of people, 0 cookies, how many cookies does each person get? Well, none. No, there's no way you can get cookies if there's nothing left of there. So this would be 0. If there's nothing to share, then no one gets anything. All right? Okay, now we're doing the tables. We're doing the tables, okay? What I want you to think about, Wyatt, is we're taking each of these x values and we're writing it there. We're going to put it there. So there's no more x. You do not need to write out x. This is exactly what I'm going to have you do, okay? And we're going to do this one together, and then you're going to do the next two on your own, okay? You're going to write out y equals 2. Don't write down x. No x. We're actually writing down this number now. That takes place of the x. Parentheses, negative 3, and then everything else just stays the same, plus 4. Now, I know you can do this in your head, but I want you to check with your calculator. It's just always better to check with your calculator. You're going to be right, okay? So you can be right. 2 times negative 3, that's negative 6. Negative 6 plus 4 is a negative 2. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and erase this, or I suppose you can do it on you have paper, so you can just do it on another spot. You're going to rewrite the whole thing. Y equals 2 times a number plus 4. And you keep going from there. So I want you to think, what number goes into this little spot here? What number goes into this spot right there? Well, the 4. So we're going to plug in a 4 and go ahead and do this. Go ahead and try it out. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So we're going to put a 12 there. Put a 12 there. All right, and I guess essentially you don't. I don't need to erase everything, right? I can just write down 2 plus 4 and just start plugging the numbers in there. The next one will be negative 5. So we plug negative 5 in. I'm going to do a different color. Negative 5. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 4 is a negative 6. And then we do the last one. Do the white one, and we should get. I guess I'll do it in red. I'll do it in white. Plug 0 in. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. All right, that's exactly what we did. Go ahead and try this one now. All right, Wyatt, so hopefully you got a chance to take a look at this one and try this on your own. Here are the numbers. Here's what you should have done. Well, let me explain how you would have done it, right? You take 4. I'll do this in white. 4. And we're going to multiply by the first number here. Negative 3. Minus 2y equals a negative 4. What we're left with is a negative 12 minus 2y equals a negative 4. And then you add 12 to both sides. Add 12 to both sides. And what you get, which I will write over here, what you get is negative 2y equaling 8. Divide both sides by a negative 2. And you get y equals a negative 4. Y equals a negative 4. So you should have got a negative 4 there. Okay? For the next one, what you should get is, you should have gotten 0 for this one. 0. When you plug in 0, you should get 2. You should get 2. When you plug in 4, you should get 10. And when you plug in 5, you should get 12. You should get 12. And there it is. You should have gotten that one. Go ahead and try this one now. If you plug in negative 2, you have negative 12. You add 12, you get 21. You should get 7. When you plug in 0, you should get 3. When you plug in 3, you have 18. You subtract 18. 9 minus 18 is negative 9. You should get a negative 3. When you plug in 5, you get 30. Subtract 30. You get negative 20. This should be a negative 7. And when you plug in a negative 4, we get 24. Negative 24. Add 24. You get 30. 20. Negative 24 plus 9 is a negative 33. You should get a negative. No. Let me double check on this one. So we have 6 times negative 4, that's a negative 24, plus 3y equals 9. You add 24 to both sides, so you get 3y equals 24 plus 9 will be a 33. So yep, 11. You get 11 there. All right. So that's your little review. I hope you do well. Best of luck. Keep watching these and keep practicing.